So you've seen Spider-Man Far From Home and you're wondering what all of those Easter eggs mean, which ones you missed, and what's next. Fear not, Comic Book Nation. BD here with your recap to the rescue, taking on the great power of inside info about Spider-Man Far From Home and turning it into great responsibility, making sure you are in the know. The movie starts in Mexico with Mysterio swooping in to save Nick Fury and Maria Hill from an elemental creature. Fury's Audi, like others later in the movie, has a license plate starting with ASM, an abbreviation for Amazing Spider-Man, the best known and longest running Spider-Man comic book title. Mysterio first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 13 in June of 1964, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, a master of Hollywood stunts and special effects. In fact, his early storylines called for framing Spider-Man as a criminal and posing as a hero and locking him up. Sound familiar? Like Homecoming did with Civil War, Far From Home starts with a cell phone documentary recap of the events of Avengers Endgame. Just as people were snapped away by Thanos, they were also brought back to the same place where they were dusted when the Hulk snapped 5 years later. The school newscast shows this, also featuring a tribute to dead heroes including Vision, Black Widow, Iron Man, and Captain America, which is interesting because he was last seen alive. Very old, but alive. As Peter gets ready for Europe, his suitcase has Uncle Ben's initials on it.
We already have a lot to deal with the loss of Tony. We have Uncle Ben's suitcase, though.
Peter's plane has a few Easter eggs in its movie selection, including Finding Wakanda in reference to Black Panther, The Snap by real-life director Paul Greengrass, and Heart of Iron, a documentary about Tony Stark, but also a play on words referencing Ironheart, the Riri Williams version of Iron Man introduced in Marvel Comics. In Venice, Peter has to fight an elemental, the MCU's version of Hydro Man, right down to a reference of the suspect being named Morris Bench, which is Hydro Man's comic book name. Mysterio comes to the rescue and Peter ends up encountering Nick Fury. Turns out they didn't meet at the funeral from Endgame.
I want him to grow up quicker than he's willing to grow up. And I'm doing that, parental pressure thing.
Peter gets Tony's high-tech glasses, complete with Edith, which stands for Even Dead, I'm the Hero, and starts looking at all of his classmates' stuff on their phones. Subplot introduced, Flash Thompson's parents aren't there for him according to some text messages, and it might be why this character is such an insecure jerk.
Sup, Quad?
Peter meets with Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, in a secret Nick Fury lab, which includes a reference to Earth 616, which is the name of the main Marvel universe in comics. The MCU's Earth is actually Earth 19999, and Mysterio is lying. Peter's field trip gets hijacked by Nick Fury. He has to fight an elemental in Prague with Mysterio, and Peter decides Edith and the Stark Tech should be Quentin Beck's. Bad call, Peter. Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, actually hates Tony Stark. He invented Tony's barf technology Tony showed off in Civil War, and his team consists of characters like William Ginter Riva from Iron Man 1, a woman named Janice who could be Janice Lincoln, daughter of Spider-Man villain Tombstone, who goes on to become Beetle, and a member of Boomerang's Sinister Six, and Victoria, who could be Victoria Snow, a former Stark Industries employee who once dated Iron Man 2 villain Whiplash in the comics. Using the Stark Tech, Mysterio creates an Avengers-level threat while all of the Avengers besides Spider-Man are occupied, but the movie almost included one huge first look at a new Avenger.
Were there any other Avengers in it? I don't think so.
We briefly talked about bringing in Falcon as Captain America at the end, like maybe once Peter's arc and he's sort of like leading the team, like maybe he calls in a favor. But we also thought it was really important to the arc of this movie that there not be other Avengers available to Nick Fury or Peter, so that he'd have to step up and do it himself.
It's all about Peter stepping up and Peter, getting out of the shadow, not just of Tony, but of the Avengers in general.
Spider-Man can't stop Mysterio and gets thrown for a loop with illusions, including a zombified Iron Man, referencing the popular Marvel Zombies comics. On the Stark Jet, Peter creates a new suit in a scene set to the tone of AC/DC's Back in Black, a reference to the first Iron Man movie, and the options in Tony's leftover designs include the Iron Spider and the Spider Armor Mark III suit from The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 682. Peter realizes Quentin Beck has been lying all along and tries to fight off the illusions and the Stark drones in London. The Stark drones are equipped with Soundwave tech, which is the same weapon used to stop the Hulk in 2008's The Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah, it's the way they stopped the Hulk, those sonic cannons, and they're actually based on real things too. But yeah, we wanted that to be, that's a deep cut.
Peter stops Mysterio and heads home to NYC to live happily ever after with MJ, and swings from buildings for the first time in the MCU, complete with a selfie referencing the popular PS4 Spider-Man game. As Spider-Man landed in front of what was once Avengers Tower, he stood before what might have been a Fantastic Four reference in the form of a construction banner reading, "Wait till you see what's next," complete with a 1, a 2, a 3, and a question mark where the 4 should be. Just kidding, we're back. We're not leaving out the best post-credit scenes. Mysterio, who probably is not dead, frames Spider-Man as the man behind the attack on London and the rest of the world, and outs Peter Parker's secret identity with the help of the Daily Bugle, including J. Jonah Jameson, portrayed by the original Spider-Man trilogy's J.K. Simmons. Despite the same actor being in the role, this is a brand new take on the character, and he's not coming from any multiverse or any other story. Same actor, same character name, full reboot.
It was an idea we had from the very earliest conversations of, if we, Marvel Studios, get to work with Sony and make a Spider-Man movie, we want to bring Jameson back somehow.
The second stinger reveals that Nick Fury and Maria Hill have actually been shape-shifting Skrulls throughout Spider-Man Far From Home, though we can confirm they were not Skrulls all along in the MCU. This goes to show how easy it would be for evil Skrulls to have infiltrated the world and posed as Avengers or others on Earth since their arrival seen in the 90s in Captain Marvel, which would be the Secret Invasion story from Marvel Comics.
Just like not all humans are bad and not all humans are good, I think Skrulls probably have a variety of moralities amongst them.
The real Nick Fury, meanwhile, is somewhere in space with a monitor showing what looks like Tahiti, building what looks to be SWORD. SWORD is essentially Space Shield. The group in comics is comprised of characters like Beast, Abigail Brand, Lockheed, Spider-Woman, and Carol Danvers. None of them have been introduced in the MCU except Carol Danvers, but it sure does look like Fury is up there building the Peak, the headquarters for SWORD. What Easter eggs and references did you catch in Spider-Man Far From Home? Drop them in the comment section or send them my way on Instagram and Twitter at BrandonDavisBD. And stay tuned to Comicbook.com throughout the next week for exclusive intel from Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige, producer Amy Pascal, and director Jon Watts. I'm Brandon Davis. I'll see you there.